To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency.
Clearing the floor. You see fans right now filing out of Chesapeake Energy Arena.
Get ready, because there will be no fans.
A growing number of schools across the tri-state area continue to either cancel classes or move to remote learning.
More events continue to be canceled in the wake of the confirmation of a positive coronavirus case in the country.
Well, I can say we will see more cases and things will get worse than they are right now.
Utter carnage is how one analyst described the rout in the stock markets today, and that feels like no exaggeration.
Over 480,000 deaths. So this is not one that to take lightly.
To contain the influx coming from the outside and the ability to contain and mitigate within our own country.
Tim, with what's going on in the world today, do you think the world's ending?
Possibly.
Do you think we lived good lives? Okay, enough of that. Let's get to the fun stuff. A week and a half ago, Terry and I visited the wonderful city of Philly. And of course, I had to make a video on the matter.
Never been one of these before.
We were there for 3 days, but I think 3 days is plenty.
This might be the healthiest we're ever going to be on this entire trip. We're still waiting for it.
It was Terry's spring break, and we planned this trip long before this coronavirus thing became an issue. The plan was to eat a lot of food, draw some things,
Terry, you gotta go?
and record anything we thought was cool.
I'm sorry, that was kind of mean.
Well, we did eat a lot of food, and I did draw a lot of things. But on the second day we were there, we were lost and had this Uber driver drop us off at a place we weren't really familiar with. He wasn't too comfortable with dropping us off either. But I digress. I no longer have that footage, but more on this later.
2 people asked me about my camera setup, and if I'm vlogging. The answer is yes.
Public transit here isn't as cheap as New York's, but it's much better than an Uber.
Terry almost fell. I was taking too long to sit down, and then the train started moving, and Terry, he almost fell. This is why I don't bring him out places. You got that right.
And so, without further ado, this is me in Philly drawing on Starbucks cups.
Terry, what you got? Okay, awesome.
So after we got settled in and dropped off our bags, we went to the nearest Starbucks. It was around 4:30 at this time, which meant I only had about an hour to finish this, so I felt a bit rushed. But nonetheless, here it is. When I was done with this, it was about 5 minutes after closing time, so I never got the chance to take progress pics. So for this one, I'll have to freeze the video every now and then to show you what I'm doing. Again, we were there for 3 days, and I was planning on drawing on 1 cup a day. For each one, I had a theme in mind, and for this one, the theme was water animals. That's an octopus, and this is a shark, I think. This is a dolphin. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up for dolphins. And this is Mr. Krabs trying to fight off a catfish. I finished it off with some shading and some highlights, and I was ready to give this one away.
So we thought they closed at 7 because that's what the website said. And then we got there, and then I overheard the lady said that they closed at 6. So I had to rush that one, like the last one. Some guy told me to give YouTube a break. What do you guys think? So many dogs.
Monday was a relatively short day. We walked around for a bit, and then we went out and got food, drinks, and called it a night.
My turn. There's no balls on the table except this black one. Terry, what do you have to say about yourself?
Attention, attention. An emergency has been reported in this building. Please cease operations.
You can't go wrong with noodles in the morning. And then afterwards, we got some boba tea before we hit the next Starbucks. So I was just talking to Terry. Has this ever happened to you guys? Like, you wake up from a dream and you feel like you're late for school. Like I wake up in a panic, like, oh, I'm gonna be late for the bus. And then I realized, like, high school was 10 years ago. Has that ever happened to you? Okay, this is round 2. I gave myself about 2 hours to do this. And the theme for this one is gonna be space. And as always, I start off with pencil. This Starbucks was a little busier, so I had a lot of people watch me from the sides, which I think actually helped me draw better. And Terry's doing a good job studying in the background. Good job, Terry. Out of the 3 Starbucks cups, I think this one is probably my favorite one to ink. Only because the smoke is so organic. You can't really mess up on that. And yeah, I had a little bit too much fun with the smoke. That's an astronaut. We can call him Fred. That's a radioactive barrel, just because. And this, I actually don't know what that is. I went back through with a thinner pen, just for some minor details. And then, of course, the fun part. Hey Fred, what's going on? Green Barrel, how are you? From the looks of it, it looks like Terry's done studying and he's enjoying the sandwich. So right here, I'm adding texture to the smoke with a gray marker. I'm making sure I'm leaving some white space for some highlights. From the looks of it, it looks like Terry's enjoying his second sandwich. Nothing wrong with that. And now he's on his phone. I guess he's done studying for today. And of course I'm adding in my Instagram handle. And that pretty much wraps it up for this one. What are you looking up, Terry?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing? You guys, it was $7 for Alright, let me show you. It was $7 for this and this, okay? Is this $5 and this $2? Or is this $6 and this $1, which I highly doubt? Or is this $4 and this $3? Or is this $5 and then this is $1 and then the napkins are $1? What do you guys think? Let me know. Terry's working on his eyes, his $4 or $5 or $6 eyes. Doesn't look like he likes it.
It's good.
No,
it's too much.
It's too much, huh? He took 2 bites.
That's it.
It stopped raining. We can put these away now. Okay, so moving on. I was ready to eat again. Oh, they're in the shot. I gotta do it again. Terry and I went to a place that our Uber driver recommended for Philly cheesesteaks. The plan was to eat, relax a little bit, and then head to the shipyard where we can take some pictures next to some retired Navy boats. It's got a regular provolone cheesesteak. Nothing else to it. We didn't know this at the time, but the place was already closed. Mushrooms and onions? Oh, I should've got mushrooms. Silly me. We even asked our next Uber driver about it, and he said usually around this time there's not a lot of people over there.
What would you rate this?
But we insisted and he dropped us off. And
Well, I guess
what
it's
happened
just
next?
cheesesteak here.
Well, let me just show you the video.
6, 7.
I'd say an 8.5. Okay. Alright, so how do I start this, Terry? We are at a place in Philly called the Navy Yard, or it's like a Navy pier kind of place, okay? You may be wondering why we're laying in a parking lot with nothing behind us except pavement. So we get to the let me show you a picture. I'm gonna show you right here, here, here.
right? It looks very fun, right? It looks like a place where you can go out and hang out and stuff like that. So that's what we were expecting. We get there, we see this big ship, and we're like, oh, this is really cool. Let's record some videos. Not 30 seconds after I start recording a video, some guy in a truck pulls up right next to us. He rolls down the window, and I'm like, what's up, bro? How you doing? And then he pulls out a badge, and he's like, you guys come here. And then, and then I'm like, yo, Terry. And then so he calls us up, and then he tells us to delete the videos that we were taking because it's federal property. So I go through my phone and I'm showing him like I'm deleting all the videos I'm taking, right? Like, and he's like, no, go through like everything. I was like, that's it, dude. That's all I've taken. And then I was like, so I can't record here at all? I didn't know. I didn't see any signs. And then he said like, I can record across the street, but make sure I don't get any federal buildings in my shot. So there's federal buildings literally all around me. So we're just laying on the ground, but nothing behind us, right? This is pavement. And it's kind of eerie because all these shops are closed. This weather is kind of weird. Anyway, so it feels like everywhere we go, somebody's watching us. Like, I feel like there's people watching us right now wondering why there's two dudes laying in the parking lot. So actually, I kind of want to get moving, just in case. We're jaywalking in federal property. I want to show you guys this boat, okay? So I'm going to get as close as possible. And I hope no one sees me. I'm kind of worried. Wish me luck. Well, let me zoom up on that. Oh, I can't zoom up, okay. Anyway, and then I want to show you guys this. It's kind of windy outside. It's a little chilly. This thing. Okay. I wish you guys could see how big it is. Terry, run over there for size, please. Yeah. Right in front of the boat. Alright, that's Terry. There, you see him? He's in front of the boat. Okay? See how tiny he is? There he is. Doing jumping jacks. That's a boat. That's a big boat.
So that was our little mini adventure for the day. And although the park was closed, I'm really glad we stopped by. I'm a big fan of weird experiences like this. So we spent about another half hour here, and then we made our way back home and relaxed for a little bit.
Every little noise we hear, it's kind of creepy. Like chains and fences and etc. You guys, please welcome Kendi and Sari.
So here we go. This is the last one. This one's going to be quite easy. The theme for this one is going to be faces. So I'm working the pencils again, and I got some small faces, some long faces, weird faces, angry faces. I got all kinds of faces in these places. Here's an actual slow clip of me inking one of the faces. I'm just taking my time with it. As you can see, this takes a while. There are no mistakes. Every mistake was done on purpose. But okay, let's speed it up again. This guy's got a good face. I quite like him. And I quite like these monkeys as well. But let's speed it up a little bit more. I feel like my audience is getting a little antsy. I'm just making sure I'm filling all the spaces with, well, you know. Okay, back in slow-mo, or regular mo. This was a last minute idea to fill the rest of the space with speech bubbles. And then there's this guy. Why the long face? And this guy as well, also blue. And here's the last little part. I'm making sure I'm using all the colors of the rainbow for this one. Trying to keep it a little more colorful. And now for this next part, I'm adding in some textures and some shadows using a lighter gray color and a lightish tannish color. And this next part's pretty cool. One of my favorite things to do is I like to go back and add some sketchy color pencil lines to bring it alive a little bit. And of course I finished off with some highlights. And that's pretty much it. Last cup on the last day. There's a lot of stuff going on, and now it's time to give this one away.
If you've ever used one of these outdoor bathrooms, you're probably immune to coronavirus.
And that's it. Thanks for sticking it out to the end. That was our 3-day Philly trip. If you want to support me, please make sure you subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time.
I'm glad I didn't give YouTube a break.
Favorite color, money green. Paper. I've been on my grind since I was in the 7th grade. Had my first kid, I was only 17. Always a provider for my pack like Wolverines. But you won't find me on the